Hey church, Pastor Chris here with another episode of Mutant Church. You know what? Control is an illusion. We don't want all of what's happening to us to be happening to us right now. I've spent the day looking out my window between moments at work, seeing it snow 6 inches here in Williams Lake. And the reality is we like to have a sense of autonomy and control. It's what every human wants. We don't like to be told what we can do and what we can't do. I want to be on my anniversary trip this weekend, and that's not going to happen. Other people are losing control of being able to go to work. I know some people very sadly right now can't be with the people they want to be with. And it's hard. You know, I think about the scriptures, and a passage came to my mind from John chapter 21. It's where Jesus says to Peter, I tell you the truth, when you were young, you were able to do as you liked. You dressed yourself and went wherever you wanted to go. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands and others will dress you and take you where you don't want to go. And Jesus told him this to let him know by what kind of death he would glorify God. And then Jesus told him, follow me. Peter, the leader of the church, the only guy besides Jesus who ever walked on water, a tough guy who carried a sidearm, a guy who loved control. And Jesus said, you won't be in control, but follow me. So are you willing to let your life, or even your death, be something that brings God glory? I mean, could you do that? Could you follow Jesus knowing that it would mean that you didn't have full control over the outcome of your life? Because that's the invitation of Jesus. And not just during a global pandemic. It's his everyday invitation to give our lives to him and to let him lead. And when we do that, we find peace in situations that are out of our control. That doesn't mean bad things won't happen if you're a follower of Jesus. If you're a Christian, bad things happen to us as well as to everybody else on earth. But it does mean that those who have a relationship with God can trust their Heavenly Father to make something good out of the things that we would not have chosen. I think about Jesus, or rather Joseph, who kept serving God when he was taken from his family, when he was sold as a slave, when he was thrown in prison. I think about the prophet Ezekiel. I read about him last week, and he was told by God, you're going to stay put. And then he told Ezekiel to severely limit his diet for over a year. Talk about having things out of his control and things he wouldn't have chosen for himself. And then Peter, the same guy Jesus told, you're not going to have control over how your life ends. He told women who lived in difficult marriages, do what is right and do not give way to fear. And there it is right there. We try to hang on to control. Why? Because we fear what would happen if we don't have control. I have to admit to you, I never make my best decisions out of fear. Some of my biggest mistakes have happened when I lived out of fear instead of trusting God and letting him show me what was right. So I want to end just by quoting Andy Stanley here. He said, what if you actually believed that God was with you? In that divorce you just went through, in that bad grade you just received, in the prejudices you've experienced, in the addiction you're battling. How would that look different if you knew that God had a plan even in the midst of all that pain? God is in control, even when things look out of control. You can trust him. Well, that's all for now. I'll talk to you again soon. I love you all so much. Bye-bye.